Hello.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Mom Project's mPower Hour. I'm Elizabeth Shackelford, and I am excited to moderate today's discussion with team members from Sensiba. Cody Cannon, Senior Associate, Tori Trevathan, Customer Success Manager, and Kara Hart, Senior Data Analyst. We know what moms bring to the table, and we are proud to work with employers who understand that too. Today, Cody, Tori, and Kara and I are going to dive in about the superpowers of moms, shining a light on our soft skills, career journeys, moms as leaders, and more. This session will be saved here on LinkedIn and on our YouTube channel, so you can rewatch it at any time. And we will have time for audience questions at the end of our session. So add any questions you may have into the comments throughout our conversation today, and we'll try to get to all of them at the end. Welcome, everybody. We're so happy you're here today.
We're happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and before this, we were talking about how it's like yesterday was tax day. Wait, Monday. What day was it? Monday?
Monday.
Don't ask me. But Monday was tax day. So these women are in the thick of it. So they've donated their time to really shine a light on their journey. So we are so happy that you are here. Before we hear more about you and your career journey, I wanted to do a quick round of get to know you and break the ice a little bit. So Cody, we'll start with you. Tell us your productivity hack.
Sure. So I would say my biggest productivity hack is probably utilizing my Outlook calendar. I use it for everything, not even just meetings. If I have a project that's going to take me even 1 hour, I still put it on my calendar, just so I know okay, focus on this now. And it just has helped me so much being productive. And I don't know what I'd do without it, honestly.
Yeah, I think, and I have to have it in the calendar, else I'm like, oh, it wasn't in my calendar. So
it's color coded and yeah.
Tori, what about you? What makes you the most productive?
I have tried to live by my calendar, but it's just not my strong suit. So I'm still a list person. I write it down. I have my list. But another thing I've come to realize in the last few months, which may sound crazy, but as a multitasking brain, I listen to audiobooks all day while I work, and being able to focus on that makes me work harder and faster in what I'm doing. So it's been interesting. I go through about 4 or 5 books a week.
You are a true multitasker.
It's the only way my brain works.
That's incredible. I've tried to listen to podcasts or listen to audiobooks, and then I'll be like, wait, what happened?
No, if it gets intense, I got to pause it.
Kara, what about you?
So I didn't know which type of productivity hack you wanted, whether it was as a mom or in the workforce. So what I thought of, I was gonna say Outlook, but Cody took mine. So what I'm gonna say as well, which is one of my huge productivity hacks, in the workforce, is keyboard shortcuts with whatever application you're using. It just increase your efficiency. It's going to make you more comfortable with any type of process that you have at hand, and it just really does help save you some time. So whether that's customizing your keyboard shortcuts or using the out of box ones, it just really does help. So that's for the career, and then also as a mom, I do a lot of meal planning and meal prepping. So I don't know if others do that, but that's a big productivity hack, at the house.
Well, and I find too, the weeks that I don't meal prep, I'm so disorganized. Like this week, I didn't meal prep this week. So we're what's for every night? It's what's for dinner? So no, meal prepping really does help kind of
the dreaded question of what's for dinner.
Dreaded question. My kids are at the stage where we don't really eat the same things. It's we have to have a kid meal. It's hard. I always thought I'd be the parent that would cook and my whole family would enjoy it, but life has proved otherwise. Okay, and then the next one is coffee or tea. Cody, we'll start with you.
Oh, coffee, definitely. I do like tea, but I drink probably 2 or 3 lattes a day. So definitely coffee.
Well, especially now, I bet you guys are running on caffeine. Tori, what about you?
I'm a coffee in the morning, 1 cup kind of girl, but hot tea at night. And my daughter loves hot tea, so we have all our flavors and we just drink our hot tea at night.
Oh, that's so fun. What a special ritual. Kara, how about you?
I do not drink anything with caffeine. I only drink herbal tea.
All right.
Yes.
We've kind of added some new questions in here, so this is fun to hear everybody's answer. Okay, and then the next one is your favorite app, Cody.
This one is hard to pick, but I guess probably TikTok. It's a nice distraction from, work and also mom life. Just it's pretty nice to just scroll TikTok every now and then.
Yes, I agree. Tori?
Obviously, I would probably have to say Libby at this point because it's 3 books and it's constant. And then I also utilize Goodreads to be able to rate and follow and understand like what books I want to come to next.
Yeah, it helps you keep organized, I think, because like they do different things. I'm dying to know how many books you've listened to this year. It's only April.
Not very many. I haven't come full force. I've had a rough couple months, in the mom world, but I think I'm at about 24.
Not bad.
Yeah, mine's still blown. Carol, what about you? What's your favorite app?
So I would probably say like it was actually a tie between 3 of them. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Supercook, but it is an amazing app that every parent should have. But it's an app that you list all the ingredients that you have in your pantry or refrigerator, and then you can search based on what ingredient type you have. So it helps like actually get rid of, we can use things up in the freezer, use things up in the pantry. We have, one of those nights where it's a whatever night, this is what I have, but it gives you all the different recipes with, if you're missing certain ingredients like basil or parsley, you can sub those out with whatever you have. But it's like an amazing app that just saves my life on a regular. So Supercook is amazing. And then also Toddy, which is for multitasking moms that have chores. And you can actually set up plans like for all the kids, and if they do chores they get points for it and stuff like that. So my kids really like that. And then Seed to Spoon is really good for gardening, so anybody that's really big into gardening, this actually helps you know when to transplant your seeds, when to start preparing your seeds inside. It helps you know the companion plants, the different types of things that you need for all the different bugs, and just it's every single thing that you could possibly use like in one app for gardening. So that's an amazing one too, is Seed to Spoon.
Does it tell me how to get the squirrels to stop eating my jalapenos?
So it does give you certain suggestions around certain pests and what you can do. And there's also like a community behind it. So others in your area that have found similar methods, like, yes. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's a great
strawberries alone, but not my jalapenos.
There you go.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
That is crazy that they eat your jalapenos.
I know.
We're Texan squirrels, so everyone down here likes spicy.
There you go.
Wait, Tori, where do you live?
San Antonio, Texas.
Okay, I'm in Houston, so not too far.
Awesome.
Okay, Kara, those were amazing apps. I'm totally downloading all of them.
They're amazing. Like all 3 of. That's why I said like it was a 3-way tie. I couldn't beat it. So
Supercook. That's the one that really is like that's what I need.
I just play Chop Kitchen every night.
No, I mean, like I love kitchen shows, like Gordon Ramsay stuff, all of that stuff, Chopped, I mean, everything, right? Like I love cooking shows. I love cooking. So that's why when I found Supercook, I was like, this is the answer to everything I need as a parent.
My busy life.
Yes. Like, so, and I've tried sharing the news because it's been so amazing for me and others that I know. So it's a good one.
You shared it. Thank you. That's so helpful.
You're welcome.
Well, and I think, we're here today to talk about the many superpowers of moms, whether that's, gardening, cooking, or what have you. But at the Mom Project, we love to talk about our superpowers and how they make us better parents, better leaders, better colleagues. We want to hear about your superpowers and how does that help you excel in every facet of your life, from home to work. Cody, we'll start with you.
Sure. The first thing that came to mind for me was adaptability. For example, my husband used to be in the military, so we had to adapt many times, multiple moves. And one of those moves was overseas. So lots of just coordination and just kind of adapting to whatever life throws at you. And then obviously being a mom, your kids throw curveballs at you all the time. So nothing is quite the same. And just learning how to adapt in those situations, which also kind of translates to the client side of things as well at work. If something doesn't go quite as planned, or if a deadline is missed a little bit, being able to adapt to those situations is definitely something that's important. So I think it helps translate, between mom and home life, and then also work life too, is being able to adapt.
Absolutely. Adaptability is key in so many different, and you find yourself doing it at all different points of the day. Tori?
I would probably have to say empathy would be the biggest one, empathy and truly being true to who you are. As a mother with a child with extreme mental health issues, it's been a wild ride of life, not only what's going on in their brain, but what's going on around them to make things crazy. And so understanding within work, someone may be late to a meeting. That's okay. You don't know what's going on in their life. Being real, being true, being who you are, and just understanding adaptability to everyone around you, and just giving that notion of caring to anyone around you, because you just don't know.
Oh, I love that. And I think it's such a good reminder too, because I think even in a remote first world, you kind of just get a little tunnel vision into what you're doing and what your day to day is. But I think kind of keeping that front and center is really helpful when it comes to interacting with those around you. Kara, how about you?
So I had to really think about this one because I was trying to sum it up like all in one without having a whole bunch of verbiage behind it. So what I came up with, and kudos to my husband because he totally called it out, but it's the power of love. So leadership, observation, versatility, and execution. And as a mom, right, as moms, we do that every day. We love, but we also provide leadership. We also provide adaptability, right? That versatility, observation, and execution. And we do that in the workforce every single day with every single thing that we do. So again, kudos to my husband, because when I was thinking about that, like he was like, that's love. And I was like, you're so right. So, but yes, and we literally do that, right? Every single day, just like what Tori was saying, just like what Cody was saying. So I can't really add, much to what these ladies have already offered, but I just thought the power of love is, we do that both in workplace and at home. So
I no pun intended, but I love that so much. I wrote it down.
Oh,
what a great way to like think about that. And kudos to your husband for putting that together.
Yes. He is amazing. So, yes.
Oh, that's so great. Because we do all of those things all the time.
All the time. Correct. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was so great. Well, and really, I think we'd love to hear more about your different career journeys, how you got to where you are today. Let's start with Cody.
Sure. So my career journey kind of started straight out of college. I worked at EY in San Diego for a little bit. And then after that, my husband was in the military, so he got orders to Japan. So we picked up our whole life and moved to Japan. So once we got there, I started working for the Air Force. And then I actually found Sensiba through the Mom Project while I was in Japan. So funny, small world. And then I started as a contractor actually for Sensiba for 6 months. And then I got hired full time as like a regular employee. So it's come full circle, which is great. Now I've been here almost 2 years. So happy to be here.
Oh, and then are you back in San Diego?
Oh, sorry. No, we're in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We've moved around since then.
Did I not know you were joining us from Japan?
Oh, no. No, we came back in 2022. So.
Oh, and that's amazing. That's amazing that you found Sensiba through TMP. I love a full circle moment like that.
Yeah, me too. It was nice.
Oh, great. Tori, how about you?
Kind of all over the place. My life has been focused primarily around customer service, customer success. Right out of college, I was married, had my kids, and then went into insurance because just got to get a job right out of college, and then went through a divorce. And so now it was, Supermom had to kick in and, take care of both of us for the rest of time. So went into mortgages for a little bit, and then didn't want to live my life 30 days at a time. So went truly into the tech world of customer success, and have just loved every bit of helping anyone around me, especially in a remote world. It really helps as a mother.
Oh, and I love that, because I think at the Mom Project, we talk a lot about how career journeys are not linear. Everyone gets to where they are in a very different way. And so to hear that you've gone through so many evolutions of what your career looks like, trying to find that right path that looks for you based on your life, based on where your life is right now, I think is inspiring to, I'm sure, many of the moms who are watching this today, and knowing that you don't have to have it all figured out in the moment, but, life evolves and your career will evolve.
Correct.
Kara, how about you?
I'm going to try to not go too long.
No, we're doing great on time. So Take your time.
Thanks. So I've always had a love for math, right? Since I was a kid. And so I found my true love for statistics actually in my bachelor's program. When I graduated with my bachelor's, I quickly realized it was not what I wanted to do. So I actually went into my bachelor's. I actually have 2 undergrads in accounting and finance. And then I realized, I was like, this just isn't what I want to do. Like, I still love all these things, right? But this just isn't what I want to do. I want to do more statistics. I want to do more, data, like on the data side, like just, more on the computer science side. So then for my master's, I ended up getting a dual master's in predictive analytics and database management. So that kicked off, a lot of the analytics side, because I was actually already working different different analyst roles while I was in my master's. So, which also included being a data analyst for the Clarksville Police Department in Tennessee. So that was really an amazing opportunity. And then after that, I went into healthcare analytics, and I kind of bounced around. I've done healthcare analytics and also energy trading. So, yep, the BI side for that. So again, like, I've done a lot of different things. And when I actually got done with my master's, I divorced my husband. So I was in a similar boat with Tori, except for without children. And then I, just kind of bounced around a lot. And then I eventually found my husband. And we have 4 kids together. But the big thing is that he has seen me continue to work through my doctorate and continue to be a mom, and has supported me through that. So that was a big, big, big thing for us. So what I'm saying is, like, I've been through the divorce route, if moms have been there. I've been through the whole jumping degrees route. I've been there. I've been jumping industries, been there. So I totally get it. So the reason why I wanted to say all that is anybody can do it. So
I love that. And I love hearing about people's journeys because they're all so different.
mhm.
And what I love about these Empower Hours too is I feel like they give everyone a chance to be vulnerable and really talk about like the kind of what happened and what was hard about their career journey and what was great about it. And like, it's an evolution and we're all going to figure it out. So thank you for sharing that. I can't believe the amount of degrees that you have and that you're a mom of 4.
I am a mom of 4. Yes, and I did not stop during my doctorate. I worked full time and I still continued my school. So actually, like, while I gave birth to our daughter, our baby, who's now 2, there was many times that I was working on my dissertation. My husband would bring her into me, when she was nursing, and it was like that. But we got through it. So
Talk about superpowers.
like, super support system too. Like, you can't be superpowers without the super support system. Yeah, it does take a village, Tori, for sure. But yes. So yep.
Oh, I love that.
That's why I said I apologize if it takes a little bit of time. So.
No, I think it's so helpful, and everybody's story is so different. And there's definitely going to be something about each of your stories that resonates with someone in the audience today. So know that you are helping someone on their career journey. Mm-hmm. For those watching who don't know, Tori, can you tell us more about Sensiba and its mission?
Sure. So Sensiba is an audit firm here. So we are all here together, but we're accountants, we're consultants, we're experts, we're here for everybody, but we use all of our industry experts to help good people in their organizations to solve problems, to navigate complexity, to build a foundation for sustainable growth. We can be your consultant throughout whatever you're looking for. But also, as a certified B Corp, we foster a culture where people and families can thrive and where moms can sit here and do what they do best, which, as you can see, is everything. So that's where we are at Sensiba.
Oh, I love that. And you talked a little bit about, what place for moms, but what makes Sensiba a great place to work for parents?
Truly, my first thought when you ask that is being surrounded by not just even women empowering women, everyone empowering women. There's flexibility of, they say family first, the family before the firm. And that hits my heart so deep with having a child that is in and out of the hospital. And it's so nice to be able to be remote first, but truly family first, and be surrounded by people that care.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Well, and kind of we're going, I think, a little bit back to kind of motherhood when it comes to your career, but what aspects of motherhood have helped you in your career? Cody?
I would say probably strategically planning things. There's so many planning aspects that go into, you know, kids and your family life. And then there's so many also planning things to happen at work, like different kinds of meetings to set up, different kind of client projects to do, all those components and moving pieces and people. So I think definitely like planning, and then also a little bit of patience helps because sometimes you have to train newer staff, or, you know, be more patient with people who might not know what you know. So those, I think, two things, the strategically planning and then patience, definitely help in the workplace.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about patience before we went live, and we were all like, I think I have patience. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Those of us with young kids, we were like, I don't know if my patience is really there. If you would have seen me getting my kids in the car this morning, if my neighbors would have heard me, my patience was not there.
Yeah.
Tori, what about you? What aspects of motherhood have helped you in your career?
So I think me and Cody are the perfect example that it takes all sorts of people to make the world go round, because I am the furthest thing from a planner that you could ever imagine. I'll go to the airport and take the next flight out tomorrow with what clothes are on my back. So for me, it was the adaptability portion of it that we were kind of talking about earlier, being flexible, being open to change. I mean, kids want to go do this, but now someone's shoes tied the wrong way, so we're going to take a left instead of a right. Nobody's going to cry about it. We're just going to continue, and we'll find fun in it. So it's really it has helped me be able to be open to change. If change is happening, cool, get on the roller coaster, let's go. As long as it's for the better. If it's not, we learn something, you continue to go. And it's just, that's how life works. Nothing fits in a box. Nothing's perfect. Nothing will ever be perfect. And you have to understand that. So I think being a mom has made me understand that life is not perfect, because I won't be a mom that lives in denial that my kids are perfect, because they're not.
Yeah, it's like a great lesson in managing your expectations.
Yes, very much so, especially with two kids that are complete opposites. So
yeah,
expectations are very different in this house.
Well, and yeah, and I think that's, you realize that too. And I remember when I had my second, I was like, I mean, they're still gonna be my kids. How different can they be? But they're very different, you know. But
Right.
I think you, just like life, you don't really know what you're getting into until you experience it, and then you have to adapt.
And then the second one comes along and you're like, how did I do this?
How did I do this? I'm like,
yeah, I know. The first one doesn't want to help. The second one wants to help the first one, but they're 6 years apart. It just didn't make sense.
Kara, what about you? What aspects of motherhood have helped you in your career?
I can definitely say time management. That is a big thing that, especially having twins, like that was something that we had to learn very quickly, was time management and also scheduling, like keeping everything to the T. And that really does play out in the real world, right? That plays out with even in the home life, you know, billing and all the financial things that we have, right? And then also in work, all of the deadlines, multiple deadlines that we have, right? Which leads to priorities. How do we prioritize things appropriately with multiple kids and in life, along with work? So I think those two come hand in hand. But of course, like some of the other things that we've touched on, right? Which you know, Cody and Tori have also touched on. You know, but also empathy, compassion. Those are really important. And you know, I think yes, when everybody went remote, we lacked that a little bit. So I'm happy that we're starting to return a little bit. But yeah, just empathy and kindness, and compassion. And then of course, like I think one of the big aspects that we have is networking and communication. So we get to communicate with other parents, right? Which leads to, you know, so many different opportunities, and not just, you know, job, right? But, you know, play dates and, you know, schooling events and, you know, at work, like, you know, some of the project, you know, stuff that we do. Like it could be like, Cody and I are in the mom, in the parents group, and, they're talking about this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, we actually have, something already set up that can help you. It's little things like that that really does help on the networking and the communication component, as parents. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And like natural connectors, like, oh, well, I
Exactly.
don't know about that, but I do know someone who does.
Exactly. It really does help, when you have that bond as a parent. So.
Yes. And I think too, even like if you're experiencing something unique with your child, you can be like, I don't know, but I do have another friend who could maybe help you. And I do feel like no matter where you are, moms are always so willing to jump in and help.
Yes.
Neighborhood, new job, like everyone's like, how are you doing? Can I, what do you need? I just moved to a different neighborhood and I've been so inspired by all the moms who are like, give me your number, let's hang out. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And then you just kind of remember to do it for next time.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the many skills that moms bring to the table, but Kara, can you talk to us a bit about creating and sustaining a diverse workforce and how does that benefit the organization?
So as a whole, organizations are benefited by diverse workforce, specifically with, moms or other parents involved, because we do bring a lot of skill sets to the table, like not just soft, right? But we bring in that drive, we bring in that passion, we want to succeed, we want to get that done, especially for our family. Not only us, but our family at the end of the day is our biggest driving factor. And parents just bring a lot to the table from a diversity perspective, even creativity, even, again, on my side, because I'm, on the data side, but it brings in a lot of different factors just into small projects, big projects, everything. So for example, I know moms who are in different time zones that work on projects, and they align things up so that when one mom has to log off to get the kids ready for bed during busy season, the next mom is ready to finish the work, and then the next mom in the next time zone is ready to finish the work. So it's that, right? That diversity, that type of bonding, that's the true value add that it brings to an organization.
It's so true. And having that backup and working as a team, I think is really, really something that benefits an organization as a whole. As a reminder, we do have time for questions. So add any questions that you may have for Tori, Cody, or Kara into the chat. We also at TMP talk a lot about balance and how you don't find balance. You have to create. Oh gosh, sorry, that was my doorbell. It was so loud. Wow, this is the first time this has happened during an mPower Hour. Anyway, how you don't find balance, you create it. Can you share more about how you manage balance in your life? Cody, we'll start with you.
Okay, sure. Kara briefly touched on it just a second ago, but something that I do is I kind of split my time at work. So like, for example, I'll log on, at like 10 a.m. Eastern or something, and then log off at, 4, 5-ish Eastern. And then so I can spend time with my family and kind of be present for that. And then once my son goes to bed, then I log back on to work to wrap up anything that I still need to do. So that's been really great that there's even that flexibility to do that. So that's definitely something that Sensiba encourages. And, family is definitely a big part of their values. And they truly want you to, spend time with your family and not prioritize work over them as long as, you're meeting your commitments and everything. So just a flexibility, and then just kind of prioritizing, okay, from 5 to 9, strictly family time. Kind of thing.
And flexibility is so important. And, we found through research at the Mom Project that moms are like, flexibility is the #1 factor in keeping them in their jobs. And so the more that you can have kind of advocate for that flexible work-life balance and being able to get your work done on your own terms is so important for making sure that we feel kind of, we feel like we're succeeding or, succeeding in our own way at both work and home. Tori, how about you? Talk to us a little bit about balance.
My balance it's truly just understanding and setting your own expectations for the day. Getting all of your to-dos ready, be it your Outlook calendar or my handy dandy notebook on my desk, but also, knowing what's coming for dinner, being able to balance the fact that this meeting ended a little bit early. I can go chop the onions. I can go, as Amberelle would say, mise en place, like get everything ready. So once the kids are hungry, I'm just getting up and throwing everything in a pan. Or crock pot dinners, obviously super easy.
Obviously the best.
Make your coffee, throw everything in the crock pot. But just having that balance of understanding that, yes, again, we live in a flexible world, that I can get up and go chop an onion to prepare for later because I have 5 minutes right now. And I'm not going to be in trouble because I walked away from my desk for 5 minutes to chop an onion. So it's really just knowing that you have the support behind you to have the balance in life. And if you need more balance time on your end, you can just ask for it, and it's okay.
Yes, always ask, because I think you never know what they're going to say until you ask. And I think having that time to be able to go and do those household things, it also just makes you feel a little bit more mentally ready to do, tackle work. You're not like, shoot, I got to go flip the laundry. I got to go do this. I got to go run those papers to school, because it's kind of like that never ending list.
I think about the laundry, but then I remind myself that my son's supposed to fold it when he gets home, so don't touch it.
Well, and if you download that app, Toddy,
he's not going to do it.
Then Toddy track of all of the chores.
Yep.
I'm like, that's what I'm going to download the app too. But yeah, I think it's like those little things add up. And I know I feel so grateful for my colleagues at TMP when I had to run papers up to school the other day, and I was running so late for a meeting because it took forever. And I was like, sorry, I'm on my way back. But I think it also just goes back to that empathy and like, it's all going to be okay. We're all going to get the work done.
Yep.
Kara, how about you? Talk to us about balance in your life.
Yeah. So obviously I mentioned on the meal planning and meal prepping, that's like a big thing for our family because Elizabeth, we also have similar tastes in our household with our children. So it is very critical that I plan everything out ahead of time so that I don't add more time when I get home from picking up kids from school and daycare and, have to make something new. So that's a big thing for me. The other thing that my husband and I do is like we tag team on baths. So like he'll, as soon as we walk in the door, like he'll, get a kid started in the bath and while I'm getting dinner out. And so like we'll tag team while he's doing that, I'm doing another thing. And so that really does help because it's not just waiting until the very end of the night. And so, so we do that, which really, really does help save time. So yes, that's how I create time.
I think you have to like split it up and really kind of delegate how it works. But I think James just put a comment in here, managing a career and home and the schedules of several tiny humans makes moms superheroes. And James, I agree.
Definitely, James.
We're all like, yes. Okay. So thank you all for answering that. I think all of those were such helpful tips. And I think balance is so elusive and you're always trying to find it. And sometimes you're really, really winning at work and sometimes you're really, really winning at home. But I think when you understand that it's all a balance is kind of all you can do.
Exactly.
So we do have a few questions. Let's dive in. What are your tips for detaching from work after hours? Love this question because I'm always here for more tips. Whoever wants to start, jump right in.
Okay, I'll start. My biggest tip, because yes, I'll sit here and just keep going, but have something small planned. Have something to look forward to that the kids look forward to. For example, it's Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday. I will be reminded of my daughter when she gets home because every Thursday our neighborhood has food trucks at the pool. So the kids come home from school and they know they get their pool bags packed, they get their bathing suits on. We're going to check out what's at the food truck. We're having dinner picnic at the pool. And that's just what Thursdays are. So I know on Thursdays, I'm not going to sit here till 8 p.m. But I'm going to probably work harder during the day to make sure I can detach. But it's really just having, something to look forward to, even it be just a delicious dinner. Just, take a step back and live in the moment with your kids because you'll never get that back. And coming from having a mom who worked her heart away, I miss those moments. So I don't want my kids to miss those moments with me.
Oh, Tori, that's such good advice. Thank you for sharing that.
They're only little for so long.
Exactly.
I just wish 12 went faster.
The middle school, right?
Yeah, that's 3 years.
Exactly. Cody, you want me to go next?
I can go really quick. Mine's just kind of short to piggyback off of what Tori said. I kind of do a similar thing. We go on like neighborhood walks every day. We have like some people that we meet up and we all walk. My son is 6 months. So I'm definitely not as experienced as everybody else, but we take him on walks every day, and kind of that's how I break up like my day. That's how I, switch my brain off and focus on family, and I think it helps.
Oh, those little like 6-month baby walks are the best.
I know.
Like, perfect, because at night when they're like kind of, you're like, let's just go put you in the stroller and you can look
exactly.
at you all get fresh air. Like the 6-month baby walks are truly like chef's kiss. They're perfect.
He has like 2 teeth that just like popped up on the bottom, so he's like teething and he gets a little whiny sometimes. So I'm like, oh no, let's go outside in the stroller.
Let's get in the stroller.
Yeah.
Let's get in the stroller.
Yeah.
I love it.
And Kara, what about you?
So my best thing for detaching from work after hours is actually having to go get the kids. Having that hard deadline that Tori was talking about and Cody was talking about, right? Like having that actually like hard deadline that you have to leave to go pick them up is a big motivator to logging off. And then the other thing that I would recommend is actually turning your screens off and silencing your notifications, because so many people have it like they don't realize they actually have anxiety about notifications until they realize they have anxiety about notifications. But when you start silencing them, you'll start finding that you'll find a very calming feeling, which will help you detach from work after hours.
Yes. I probably get anxiety about notifications, but I also think that's why on the weekends I like don't really text people back, or I kind of just try to put my phone like, and I feel bad because some of my friends are like, I haven't heard from you in days, and I'm like, I know, but I just need like a phone break. And I think too, when you're working all day and you're kind of in that mode, it's like on the weekend sometimes I just need to like detach.
I purposely put my phone in my room and I'll check it like every little bit. Yeah. My husband will have his, so if there's an emergency, the family knows how to get in touch with us. But after looking at screens all week long, I just like to not be in front of a screen.
Yes.
So that's really how I detach as well. So
absolutely. I just see Vanessa had a quick question about, is this being recorded? And yes, you can go back to this LinkedIn and it'll start from the beginning. I think after it's over, and it's also available on YouTube. And we have more questions too. All right. How do you lead or designate or project manage your home with your spouse in a balanced and organized way? Tips, apps?
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway. Go Tori. Yeah, go Tori. You're good. We'll go in order.
I probably am not the most experienced with this because we try new things all the time and they don't work. But, as I mentioned, middle school is a really, really fun time. But we really, at this current moment, we have a huge calendar on our fridge of when there were good days, when there were bad days, which days he's allowed to play video games, which days what chores he has to do every day. But I will say, my spouse is also, or almost prior military, and she retires in 2 weeks. So having that sense of letting go of her having to go to work all the time, there is a lot more support in a little more of that structured, we're going to do it this way. Your mom's working, leave her alone. And so it's really helped to help transition her away from the military, as well as getting the kids like kind of in order, if you will.
And then for me, my son is 6 months, as I said. So not really much to manage and balance, kind of like from his activity standpoint. Like he's not going on these after school things, but we just have like a really kind of schedule set in place. So we kind of do the same things with him every day at a certain time. And then my husband was prior military, so now he goes to school full time and he can be home more often. So he'll hang out with him and he'll kind of take him while I'm working, and like that's kind of part of our schedule is like he has him most of the day while I'm working, and that's kind of our balance. And then also, going on walks and just kind of doing set routine things every day.
So the way that we do it is specifically balancing things with my spouse is a few different ways. So we do use an app, surprise, surprise, called Cozy, but it's a shared calendar and kind of like a project management app for your household. So it has recipes that I constantly pull in from Supercook. It has, the shared calendar, which has notifications for which parent is taking which child to which event. So it really does help with that. And then also some of the big projects like for this year, I revamped part of the garden because I wanted to grow more vertical because I was running out of space. So that was like a big project with my husband, which was like, on the financial side, and then also like the planning side, and also when are we going to do it? Because we have 4 kids, right? And we both work. So it was more of like, okay, when is the timeline for this? This is the last date that I can actually plant. So Cozy helped us with that. So actually, like, helped us balance it, helped us organize it, helped us financially plan it. And, I could actually tag my husband on like this task, like, I know you have a half a day this day. If you have a chance, can you do this? So that was really nice for him to be able to have that, so because he doesn't know much about like what I need to do in the garden, but he can help me. So it's nice communication when you're in a really busy family and don't have that hour, 2 hours a week to sit down and actually talk about stuff like that. So
Yes, it's like finding the time to talk about your schedule.
yes. So Cozy helps with that. That's what I do like about it, because you can send notes to your spouse. Like, this is like, we have next weekend, we have, 3 birthday parties for 3 of the kids, but not all 4. So we're like figuring out like the logistics of who's taking who to which birthday party, right? But we're all doing that in Cozy. So it's nice because he can do that if he has a second at work, and we don't have to wait until later on that evening, and to actually have that conversation. So that's why I like it.
Okay, I'm going to look up Cozy too. I'm adding this to my long list of apps.
I love these apps. I realized a while ago, like I needed apps to help. So
maybe you're going to be an app developer in your next life, because
maybe.
you could continue on. No, those were really great answers. Thank you. I wanted to talk to you. Did you ever take a pause for more than a year to be a stay-at-home mom or a caregiving break? I feel like we did talk about this in our previous call, but I couldn't remember.
We did on Monday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody take a pause?
I personally didn't, just because I was freshly divorced. I didn't have that option too.
Well, and to this person who asked the question, this is a great question. And we will have a masterclass on May 2nd about talking about that gray area and taking a break for caregiving. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. And then we also have a lot of resources on our blog, on the library, about how to return to work after a career break. And I can add the links into the conversation on LinkedIn after this session ends. But great question. And we have lots of resources for you. So
I will say, within my village of moms, I have about 5 friends that took a break or are currently still on probably the 3rd year of a stay-at-home mom break. And, it's you thrive in however you want to thrive. I personally don't think I have enough patience to do that. But I do have patience. I just, I prefer to be back at work, but I know a ton of people that really, really love that time.
And know that the skills that you're cultivating while taking your break are still very real skills that you can then leverage when you're ready to return to paid work.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I was going to say that too, Elizabeth. I actually have some friends that they've been out of work for about a year because they delivered their babies. And they're in all sorts of industries with all sorts of different titles, right? So, they're not just all in one industry. But they're just they're getting ready for that question. Why did you take that year off? And, they're just like, I had a child. So, like, they're proud of it. They're, so that's what I like about it, is times have changed where now we can say, I had a child. And that is an amazing response. And so I think employers are looking at things differently now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
There's so many great questions. How do you establish boundaries at work to protect your family time?
I kind of briefly touched on this earlier, but I kind of have my strict like 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. is like just family time. I'm not online. There's a few exceptions during the really, really, really busy times, but I mean, for the most part, like 99% of the time from 5 to 9, I'm unavailable for work-related things, and it's strictly family time.
I'll say this will be the one point in time where I can say I do utilize my calendar to success, is that, I do block out those times I need. My son goes to a therapist every week, a psychiatrist every 2 weeks, and I I have to block that time. And it's not just because I'm going and doing whatever I want or taking a long lunch. I also I will always be an open book. I will always be completely transparent at who I am and what my family is going through. I don't have shame in that, which is something, to show my children that there's no shame in what you're going through in life. And so it's really just being honest about who you are, but also taking the time and not feeling bad about taking that time.
Yes, and definitely staying true to your calendar. Like, Tori and Cody have said that's really how I do it, is when my time comes at 4:30, I am out of here. I'm going to pick up my kids. If you have to talk to me, it's going to be in the car ride on my way to get the kids. And then if you still want to talk to me after I pick my kids up, you're going to have 4 kids in the back, like in the background talking and, just having a good time and yelling and playing. But if you really want to talk to me, yeah, if you really want to talk to me, I'll be there. So that's kind of how I preface it, is like, I have my calendar blocked off. If you really have to talk to me, that's great. But this is what it is. And this is exactly what it is. So take it or leave it. And a lot of times they're like, no, I'll just meet with you tomorrow. And I'm like, that's great. Awesome. So that's pretty much how it always goes, is like, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. It sounds good. But yeah, just, Alexa, stay true to yourself though. If your time says log off at 5, you really need to force yourself to log off at 5. Or like Tori and Cody said earlier, put something on your calendar to make sure you do log off at 5. So just kind of force that.
I mean, there are also connectors to your router that you could stop internet to your computer at 5. So you don't have to do it. Again, I know this with middle school children.
You can also just turn the internet off.
Yeah, I do all the time. It's a little click of a button right here.
Well, yeah, Alexa, that was a good question. And I think the other thing that we talk about a lot is like, no is a complete sentence. So I think sometimes it's hard, and it's hard for everybody. Well, it's hard for me to set boundaries, and I have to remind myself constantly, but like the more you set them and the more you practice setting boundaries, the better you'll be at it. So I encourage you to set a boundary today, and like, that's just start small.
Yes. And that's a wonderful book to read as well, is Boundaries. It's a wonderful book.
That's a good one.
Wait, is that okay?
That's a good one.
Is that the title? I want to find it.
You'll learn a lot about yourself.
Yes, that's a good book.
There are so many recommendations in this session. I feel like we just need to do a roundup of everybody's
follow-up email with all the links to the download.
Yeah,
we could do that.
Well, and I think we have one last question, but I think this is a little bit more me focused, so I'll answer this one. I won't toss it to you all. But what is the best way to stay connected with the Mom Project? Well, first of all, it's become a member of our talent community. And you can do that by going to our homepage / talent and signing up to be a member of our community, where you can fill out a profile and start applying to jobs. Is also follow us on social media. We have a ton of events here on LinkedIn that kind of help foster you and help you in every phase of your career journey, whether that's mPower hours with our customer partners and hearing from amazing, talented women like these with me today, or also our master classes where we really dive into specific career challenges, like, returning to work after a career break or focusing on your resume. And I think we also have an email address, is community@themomproject.com. So if you have any specific questions, we're happy to answer any questions. And then we also have a blog that kind of has a lot of resources on so many different things about your career journey, whether that's, advocating for a promotion, figuring out what maternity leave looks like for you, from everything in between. So I would recommend checking all of those out. And thank you for being a part of our community. And thank you for being here today. Kara, Cody, and Tori, thank you all so much for your vulnerability, for answering all of these questions, for giving us a plethora of apps and books and everything to go look into, and really just hammering down like that moms bring so many different attributes to the table, both at work and at home. And it makes for a diverse workforce, and it makes for just, better colleagues and leaders all around.
Absolutely.
So glad to be here. Thank you.
Me too.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining us today. I hope you learned something that you can take with you on your career journey and beyond from all of these women amazing stories. And we hope we will join you. We hope that you will join us at the next one on May 2nd. Until then, have a great day. Thanks again.